The performance in the triple jump depends on the run-up speed, the technique of the entire action, and the dynamic strength of the leg muscles. Of particular importance is the ability of further contraction at high and repeated impact forces arising in all the three stages, hop, step, and jump. Bernard Lamitier, his first finals attempt, 16 meters, 36 centimeters. Technique demonstrated by Viktor Saneyev. The main consideration at the takeoff is keeping horizontal momentum. At his first takeoff, too, Saneyev uses the double arm shift. Maximum flexion of the takeoff leg knee joint dominates the leg change in the hop flight stage. The free leg is straightened and relatively relaxed. The fully flexed takeoff leg shin reduces the turning radius for the following pickup of the thigh into the horizontal position or even higher. Next comes the preparation for the so-called thrust landing. Its effect is increased by the arms swinging from a high rear position. The extreme impact forces can be absorbed only by the maximum activation of the takeoff leg muscles well before the landing. Body weight moves closer to the vertical line. The increased flexibility of the free leg increases the active takeoff strength. The takeoff angle is smaller than in both the hop and jump, about 13 degrees. The most accomplished athletes perform the step flight stage, including preparation for the takeoff, in the same way as the hop. The athlete tries to compensate the lowered horizontal velocity before the landing and jump takeoff by a greater flexion of the free leg, with only slight flat-footed advance. The angles of landing and takeoff are higher than in both hop and step, approaching the optimum values of the long jump. The trunk, inclined slightly forward, is approximately in the extended axis of the takeoff leg. In the triple jump, the run-up helps in acquiring maximum kinetic energy for the actual start of the first stage. Our measurements have shown the run-up speed of some athletes to exceed 10 meters per second. Lamitier's run-up speed was between 9.9 and 10.1 meters per second. A high-speed camera exposes even minor technical faults. In the case of Lamitier, the leg movement in the flight, and mainly at the moment of contact with the takeoff board. An even slower shot demonstrates the huge impact forces of as much as 9,000 newtons on the landings. The triple jumper's buttock and thigh muscles must be stronger than those of other jumpers. This alone makes it possible to absorb the landing impact and to rebound at maximum speed. The table of the finals. The red figures show the sequence of jumps included in this film for subsequent analysis. Karel Hradiel's second try in the finals, 16 meters, 5 centimeters. Gennady Valyukevich, third attempt, 15 meters, 85 centimeters. His second try, 16 meters, 40 centimeters. The best ratio of hop, step and jump has not been determined yet on strictly biomechanical foundations. In the technique shown here, the ratio is roughly 38 to 29 to 33% of the entire length. The extreme lengthening of the step has not brought any significant improvement. athlete employs the so-called flat method, Lamithier's second attempt, 16 meters 59 centimeters. Priskulin's third try was measured at 16 meters 87 centimeters. But from the actual takeoff spot, his was the best performance of all the finalists, 17 meters 7 centimeters. And finally, Sanyeyev's 4 attempts. The fourth, 16 meters 50 centimeters. The second, 16 meters 71 centimeters. In 2 tries, Sanyeyev went beyond the 17-meter mark, albeit unofficially, by 1 and 2 centimeters respectively, measured from the actual takeoff spot, the absolute length. The judge's official verdict on the third attempt was 16 meters 92 centimeters. In the fifth, he went 1 centimeter better to 16 meters 93 centimeters. The long jump is among the most natural of all the jumping events. Special effects shots will show the crucial moments of preparing and executing the takeoff. Jan Leitner. Run-up speed is sufficient. Small angle of the foot plant. Center of gravity near the vertical. Poor execution of the takeoff over the ball of the foot. Low takeoff angle. And a very low lift angle. The angle values of the center of gravity movement are shown in the hip joint in the special effect shots. Yaroslav Krivka, 7 meters 60 centimeters. High run-up speed. Suitable foot plant angle. But the foot is planted ball first, which causes a poorly executed takeoff, reflected among other things in a lower takeoff angle and a low lift angle. That affects the length of the jump, disappointing when the speed of the run-up is considered. Gregor Cybulski's third finals jump, 7 meters 75 centimeters. Run-up speed 9.9 meters per second. The foot plant and takeoff angles show that the takeoff could not have been executed properly. And yet Cybulski's lift angle was an adequate 22 degrees. Vladimir Tsepelev, 7 meters 63 centimeters in the third finals try. A high run-up speed of 10.1 meters per second. But a low 16-degree lift angle prevented him from profiting from the high run-up speed and achieving a correspondingly long jump. Nenad Stekic, second finals attempt, 7 meters 96 centimeters. The run-up speed of 9.8 meters per second might correspond to an 8-meter jump. The center of gravity, see the movement of the hip joint, is not noticeably shifted. It was a low lift angle that deprived Stekic of a jump of over 8 meters. Good preparation for the takeoff and the takeoff proper is schematically shown in Stekic's second finals try. Vladimir Tsepelev's fourth finals attempt, 8 meters 40 centimeters. The execution is dominated by high-speed run-up and proper takeoff, but the flight action and landing must not be underestimated either. Most leading athletes use the hitch kick method and its various modifications. The purpose of the accompanying arm and leg action in flight is to minimize the unfavorable effect of the rotation caused by the takeoff and to help achieve the most efficient landing position. The flight action cannot affect the parabolic trajectory of the center of gravity. Up to now, the legs have been moving asymmetrically. The jumper takes up the textbook position. In the following phase, he develops an effort to influence the trajectory of his center of gravity after cutting the sand in the pit. By engaging his back, buttocks and leg muscles, he develops a pressure against the ground. Pushing the knees and pelvis forward facilitates lying down into the hollow formed by the soles. The arrows show that the length of the jump is not affected by the landing. Jacques Rousseau's fifth try, disallowed. Rousseau uses the hang technique, very rare with top performers. The main shortcoming of the hang is lack of sufficient leg movement and, as a consequence, a poor landing with the body dragged down. Vladimir Tsepelev's fourth jump of 8 meters and 1 centimeter won him the bronze medal. He represents the hitch kick method. Valery Podluzhny's fourth try of 7 meters 78 centimeters. His variation of the hitch kick with 2.5 stride swing is a typical feature of performers who do over 7.5 meters. Åke Fransson, second finals jump, 7 meters 39 centimeters. Roy Mitchell, 7 meters 88 centimeters in the fourth attempt. Two jumps of Valery Podluzhny in the finals. Fourth attempt, 7 meters 78 centimeters. The sixth attempt, 7 meters 89 centimeters. Joachim Ferschel, fourth finals try, 7 meters 89 centimeters. The bronze medalist Vladimir Tsepelev, fourth jump, 8 meters 1 centimeter. The sixth finals try of the silver medalist Nenad Stekic, 7 meters 93 centimeters. The winner, Jacques Rousseau. The following is the normal speed shot as seen by the spectators. The longest jump in the competition, 8 meters 18 centimeters. Heidemarie Vichisk, fourth finals jump, 6 meters 29 centimeters. Brigitte Bujak, fourth finals try, 6 meters 35 centimeters. The bronze medalist Jarmila Nigrinova, fourth try, 6 meters 51 centimeters. The silver medal went to Angela Voigt. We are watching her fourth try, 6 meters 55 centimeters. The gold medalist and world record holder Vilma Badowskiene, 2 of her finals jumps. The fifth, 6 meters 57 centimeters. The third, 6 meters 69 centimeters. The pole vault is among the most difficult of all field events. In addition to better and more efficient training, ways towards improved performances have been sought in a better mastery of the technique. The technique of the pole vault demonstrated by the European record holder Vladislav Kozakiewicz. The approach run is the precondition of a successful vault. Our measurements have shown pole vaulters to reach speeds of up to 10 meters per second. The kinetic energy of the vaulter's body weight is determined by both the run speed and proper and explosive takeoff. Kozakiewicz uses a slight jump takeoff action. The efficiency is further improved by the active participation of the lead leg. The hang phase. The hang clearly shows the successful way in which Kozakiewicz manages to impart the obtained kinetic energy to the pole. The transmission of the kinetic energy is facilitated by perfect fixation of the so-called vaulter's bow and the work of the left flexed arm that pushes the pole forward and upward. The maximum bend of the pole. By the maximum bend moment, Kozakiewicz has managed to take up the suitable position with adequate speed and proper rhythm. In the following catapult phase, there are no undesirable movements that would counteract the elastic energy of the pole. The I position. After rolling back and extending vertically into the I position, Kozakiewicz starts the pull and turn. The body is parallel with the pole, the forces are not dissipated, and the vault can continue upward along the pole. The push away from the pole. At the moment of release, the body passes sufficiently high above the bar, but Kozakiewicz fails to keep his legs in the indicated position. In other words, the vault no longer continues. The athlete merely falls over the bar. A comparison of the successful vaults of 3 athletes can be used to demonstrate some technical details and judge the execution. Kozakiewicz, marked red, makes a slight jumping action which facilitates pushing the shoulders forward. Lore, marked green, fails to clench the lower arm at the moment of takeoff. The result is a premature swing that affects the utilization of the kinetic energy obtained. Tananika, blue outline, makes poor use of the lead leg in takeoff, flexes the upper arm, and reduces the transfer of energy to the pole. A joint diagram shows the way Kozakiewicz jumps while Lore and Tananika take off below the grip point. In the hang, Kozakiewicz achieves a position that enables him to transfer a lot of kinetic energy to the pole and use a hard pole and high grip. At the same time, the muscles are pre-tensed, which is an advantage. Lore's incorrect takeoff position will be manifested in this phase by a premature swing and a partial loss of kinetic energy. Tananika's lack of activity in the takeoff is manifested in the hang phase too. The body position is correct, but too low above the ground. The initial pole bend and the height at which the vaulter fixates the hang position are a result of the correct beginning phases, that is, the pole plant, takeoff and swing up. The muscle pre-tension obtained and the following coordinated engagement of the trunk and leg muscles facilitate taking up, at the time of maximum pole bend, a position advantageous for the vertical thrust that follows. Lore does not achieve proper body position owing to the preceding phases, although the pole is beginning to recoil. Tananika's is a similar case. Both vaulters affect by these movements the velocity and course of the pole recoiling and consequently the vertical lift. An interesting comparison of the height achieved by the vaulters at the moment of maximum pole bend. The dependence on the execution of the preceding phases seems pretty obvious. Further lift depends on the smoothly executed arm pull. At this moment, Kozakiewicz takes up the so-called I position. The vertical force of the recoiling pole can thus work on the body's center of gravity. Lore in the so-called L position. The legs approaching the pole, the hips are fairly low. In the course of the preceding phase, Tananika failed to draw the hips towards the pole. The result will be dissipated forces and poor vertical lift of the body. If the pull is started too soon, before the pole has straightened, see Lore, the vertical force is decreased, and instead of vertically upward, the body may be thrown toward the crossbar. At the moment of the release, Kozakiewicz's technique in this attempt leaves a lot to be desired in the final phase of the vault. The pole release and crossbar clearance are not executed with the most advantageous body position. Lore, on the contrary, makes up for his faults by fine execution of the final phases. The diagram shows clearly that even after releasing the pole, the vaulter can go on rising. A comparison of the heights achieved by the three athletes at the moment of clearing the crossbar makes it obvious that Kozakiewicz has far from shown his best. Kozakiewicz's last successful vault in the championship, his second try at 5 meters 45 centimeters. The crossbar at 5 meters 50 centimeters, the first failure of Pudas. Tananika's second failed attempt. And the end of the competition for Ouvillon, his third fail. Trofimenko cleared 5 meters 50 centimeters in his last attempt. The same went for Kalliomäki, for whom the successful third try meant the silver medal. Kozakiewicz's third failure to clear 5 meters 55 centimeters meant the end of his hopes of a win. Trofimenko's successful first try at 5 meters 55 centimeters won him the title of European champion. The high jump brought some very fine performances from the top athletes. The straddle roll and Fosbury flop techniques have shown that while respecting all the principles of biomechanics, top performances can be obtained by widely differing techniques. A slow-motion camera with a speed of 200 frames per second enables us to watch the actions of Vladimir Yashchenko in clearing the bar at 2 meters 30 centimeters. Let's concentrate on the crucial points. In the transition over the swinging free leg, the jumper starts the preparation for the takeoff. Notice the marked lowering of the center of gravity. The swinging starts well in time, before the plant at the takeoff point. Dynamic muscle pretension, multiplied by the timely swinging action in the course of the last stride, increases the jumper's action force in the takeoff. The increased motion, particularly of the swinging leg, results in better reaction force and better effect of the jumper's takeoff strength. The vigorous swing pulls the pelvis and shoulders, rotating the body with the outer side in the direction of the jump. The rotary impulse obtained in the course of the takeoff helps the jumper to clear the bar without undue difficulty. The position of the body vis-à-vis the bar is greatly improved by the marked dip of the head and trunk. Drawing the takeoff leg over the bar, Yashchenko tries to assist this action by vigorous counter-rotation of the shoulder axis against the pelvis. Yashchenko's greatest asset, the timing of the swing and takeoff. At the moment of the foot plant, the thighs are level. This position is characteristic of timely swinging action. The color marking of the joints and lead leg segments in the various phases of the jump provides an idea of the geometry and velocity of the movement and their course. At the moment of maximum flexion of the takeoff leg, the lead leg is already extended, nearing the horizontal line. The trajectory of the hip joint indicates approximately the method of transition into the vertical direction. A look at the winning jump in the direction of the movement shows quite clearly, refuting traditional ideas, that not even the world record holder is able to avoid leaning the trunk towards the bar in takeoff. The still demonstrates the position of the pelvis over the bar in clearing 2 meters 30 centimeters. The marked and forceful drop of the head and trunk behind the bar. The following phase shows the way the trailing takeoff leg clears the bar by means of compensating counter-twist action of the pelvis, shoulders and legs. Let's make a comparison of the takeoff phase in the two basic techniques. In the straddle, the rotation must be obtained from the takeoff at the expense of the vertical momentum. The flop theoretically facilitates takeoff into the center of gravity, for the necessary rotation is provided by the curved approach run. The technique of the flop can be usefully demonstrated in Sarah Simeone's successful clearing of the record height of 2 meters 1 centimeter. The technique makes it possible to obtain a higher approach speed and a smoother transition from approach to takeoff. The approach can be compared to a sprinter running a curve. In the flop too, the jumper lowers the body in the gather at the moment of the last but one interaction with the ground. The high approach velocity and the free motion of the right arm and the swing leg help in obtaining a highly dynamic takeoff, done by Simeone smoothly over the whole foot sole. Momentum loss is minimal. The takeoff leg is only very slightly flexed. The left arm is almost fully extended upward and slightly inward. The swing leg, too, moves into a fairly high position, staying flexed very long and joining the takeoff leg at the moment of bar clearance. The clearance is perfect. By pushing the pelvis upward and bending the trunk backward, the jumper achieves a very good bow position. The following variations can be seen as examples of numerous successful modifications determined by the individual preferences of the jumpers. Jutta Kirst, 1 meter 88 centimeters, parallel arm swing. The Munich Olympic winner Ulrike Meifert, 1 meter 91 centimeters. Impulsive execution with rhythm adaptations in the approach run that can affect the approach speed. Birgitte Holzapfel, an excellent approach run. The last strides of both swing and takeoff leg done heel first, just like Meifert. Rosie Ackermann clearing 1 meter 91 centimeters with outstanding, almost clockwork precision. (1 meter 93 centimeters), a possible slight reserve only in the clearance without a powerful drop of the trunk. The following shots bring back to mind the duel between Ackermann and Simeone, a good chance for reflecting on the pros and cons of the two techniques. The clearance, 1 meter 97 centimeters. (1 meter 99 centimeters). The dramatic try at 2 meters 1 centimeter. The winning jump, Simeone equaling the world record, 2 meters 1 centimeter. The men's finals, Josef Hrabal at 2 meters 15 centimeters. Yashchenko,